Howdy folks, welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don, where I react to non-pop country, and under the country umbrella of non-pop I include folk, western, bluegrass, Cajun, red dirt, and just can't be pop. So in that vein, Bob Dylan's He Was a Friend of Mine, Take Two. I don't know this song. I was never into Dylan. I've gotten more into his lyricism since starting the channel, and people have requested that I do reactions to him. And it wasn't requested by anybody, this one. I just saw it on YouTube. I'm like, maybe it's time for another Dylan one. I'm wearing my Minnesota hat that Jason Halverson sent me about 2 years ago. Jason has since passed, so kind of wearing this in his honor. But Bob Dylan is from Minnesota, so that's why I've got this hat on, and I love remembering Jason because he was a vibrant part of the channel. So really curious to see how he depicts this idea of friendship, somebody who was a friend of his. Dylan recorded with Johnny Cash a fair amount too.
He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Every time I think about him now, Lord, I just can't keep from crying, 'cause he was a friend of mine. He died on the road. He died on the road. He never had enough money to pay his room or board, and he was a friend of mine. I stole away and cried. I stole away and cried, 'cause I never had too much money, and I never been quite satisfied. And he was a friend of mine.
This was early in Dylan's career.
He never done no wrong. He never done no wrong. 1,000 miles from home, and he never harmed no one. And he was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Every time I hear his name, Lord, I just can't keep from crying, 'cause he was a friend of mine.
At first, I thought he was going to go in the direction of breaking down the distinction between classes, economic classes, and because he said he didn't have any money for his room and board, but he was a friend of mine, and I'm thinking, all right, well, Dylan's got all this money. I don't know if this is a true story. With Dylan, you don't know. Well, sometimes you do. But as far as it being a distinction or breaking down the chasm between the economic classes, I thought he was going in that direction where he was going to say, well, he's a friend of mine regardless of what he had. But then he went on to say, I didn't have much, though I'm never satisfied. I never had much. So it's like, well, my thoughts were like, okay, within the context of this song, he could help his friend who didn't have money for room and board. But then he himself said, I never had much either. And that's what prompted me to wonder, was this early in Dylan's career? Not that he couldn't write this song, because there are a lot of songs that major stars write about poverty. Springsteen writes them and all that stuff. Now, these people are worth 9 digits, some of the folks, and most of them 8 and up, so they can help anybody. And that's the beauty of the creative arts, where anybody could sing a song about anything, and if it applies to you in this platonic sense, then it applies to you. But this was, Dylan's just different. He's very patient. The instrumentation allows the lyrics to saturate and reflect and pick up shades of meaning or nuance of feeling and all that stuff. So just very different. I was never into him when I was younger. I was a rock dude. And Dylan is definitely not that. Dylan's folk. And I guess every so often he'd have rock, but he was country too. He recorded a country album or two, as I recall. He did albums with Johnny Cash and all that. So, all right, I'm going to rate this one. And the number that popped into my head right away was an 8.8. It's a very simple song, but folk makes you reflect. You really are bringing something to the table if you even listen to folk. You've got to bring patience to the table. I didn't have that when I was younger. I do now. And certainly by virtue of the channel where I'm analyzing. And I love being pressed into thought. I love thinking. I like being challenged. I love nuance. Martin Luther King said it, different context, but same idea. And it has broad application that few things pain men as much as requiring them to think. And Ann Carson said the same thing. She said that I guess people just don't like to think. And it's like, yeah, it takes brain power, and you've got to have patience to do it. Dylan forces it. If you bring it to the table, the penchant for thought, you'll get a lot out of a song. So there you go. All right, guys, nobody requested that one. That was just me doing it. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video, and keep rocking the country, including folk.
He never had enough money to pay his room or board, and he was a friend of mine.